Hey everyone, Lone Wolf Jai here, and well, I'm been watching some other YouTubers do playthroughs of Honkai, and well, let's see. Currently, I believe Unreal Dreamer's now past me. Um, I know Alicia X Life has passed me. Island, he's taking a little bit of time off because he just did chapter 24, and I think that is that the whole bit with Himiko, you know, um, and it's in chapter, and then chapter 25 he still has to do chapter 25 to finish up the Kiana story arc. And of course, Everlasting Flames. Then let's see. Then there's 25EX, and he'll be in chapter 26. Speaking of chapter 26, let's get back into it. We are. We are about ready to do the. I think we're supposed to head back to the Hyperion, if I remember correctly. And now Rita is with us, so for now. You return to the Hyperion and talk to Tesla. Okay. Hi, Principal. Ah, Kiana. You're here. Did Principal need something from me? Yeah. Fuhu wants to go take a look at her old house. I want you to go with her. Fuhua's old house? Fuhua was a part of Shixal for a few hundred years, so she lived here for a while. Oh, now that I think about it, that makes sense. Even though she said she would go by herself, I think it's better if someone accompanies her. After all, maybe she doesn't want to admit it, but she must have a lot of happy memories in this place. Okay, no problem. I want to chat with Fuhua anyway. Then would you mind? Fuhua left not long ago. You should be able to catch up with her easily. Got it. Okay, so I guess that adds a new mission. Ah, yeah, side quest. All right, so let's go ahead and. Damn! Ah! This useless rotten core. Just smash the thing and be done with it. Saturday, October 4th, 2017. For the third time, Dr. Tesla's shouts of frustration echoed through the Hyperion. It all started over 20 minutes earlier. We've been through a lot, but it looks like the Herrscher of Domination incident has finally come to an end. We just needed you to take the final step. Just to be sure, let's give it a little Honkai energy to test whether the core is still alive. theoretically it's definitely alive. There's a 99.7% chance.
生きてる。それは私たちの時代に生まれたリツシャコアと神の鍵の中のリツシャコアの違いでしょうか。
Alive? Are you talking about the difference between Herrscher cores born in our era and those from the Divine Key?
そう解釈しても構わないわ。その本当の違いを理解できているとは思わないけど。
You could say that, although I don't think you've realized what the fundamental difference is.
そうだボス頭。あんたこの間内部用の論文を書いたじゃない。実験の用意をするからあんたが説明してあげなさい。
By the way, Mophead, did you write an internal memo about this recently? Why don't you tell them about it while I prepare the experiment?
しかしそれはあくまで推測だ。まだ実験データによる検証をしていないからね。実際の問題は推測の対象よりもずっと多いかもしれない。
But it was only conjecture. At least there's no experimental evidence, and it might raise more questions than it
いい
answers.
んじゃない。聞かないよりマシでしょ。どうせこれからの実験であんたの考えを検証できるもの。
So what? You should tell everyone. The experiment we're about to do will definitely prove you right.
ちょうど天命の人たちもいるし、オットーとは違う意見を聞かせるのも悪いことじゃないでしょ。
And the people from Shixel happen to be here. Would it be nice to let them listen to someone besides Otto?
そうね。ぜひ聞きたいわ。リツシャコアに関して名手本人が第一リツシャであるネゲントロピーの方がきっと独特の見解があるはずでしょう。
Yeah. Tell us more. With regards to the Herrscher core, the Sovereign himself was the first Herrscher's anti-entropy. You must have some interesting
構
perspectives.
成時をどう思う？僕はただ2つの時代のコアを比較して研究してみただけだ。結論を言うと、
Okay, I'll just get to the point. I did some comparative research on Herrscher cores from both eras, and the results suggest
リツシャコアの死と生の状態はただの分類の誤りで偶然による現象だ。
maybe it's not as simple as categorizing them as living or dead. We might be jumping to conclusions.
偶然ですか？
Jumping to conclusions?
例を挙げよう。アリとシロアリは見た目でも生態でも似たようなところがたくさんある。そうだろ？
Let me give you an example. In terms of appearances and behavior, ants and termites have a lot of similarities, right?
しかし分類体系だとアリは8目アリ科、シロアリはゴキブリ目シロアリ科なんだ。
But in terms of taxonomy, ants belong to the order Hymenoptera. I have no idea what that is. While termites belong to the order Blatodea.
ざっくりと言えば、アリは特殊なスズメバチで、シロアリは変異したゴキブリだ。
Basically, ants are a specialized kind of wasp, while termites evolve from cockroaches.
これが生物学の修練進化に関する例だ。アリとシロアリは全然違う系統だが、似たような場所で自然淘汰された結果、多くの
This
共通点を持つようになったんだ。
This is an example of convergent evolution in biology. Ants and termites were originally completely different, but with convergent evolution, they became very similar.
なるほど。量子の海のものである生涯が、見た目だけではバルキリーの走行とあまり違わないような話ですね。
Oh, just like the astral harness from the Sea of Quanta. Something about Scott Frericks, aka Kaiser Neko from Team 4-Star. Let me start that all over again. Oh, just like the astral harness from the Sea of Quanta looks a lot like a Valkyrie battlesuit at first glance.
待ってください。それはつまり
Hold on. In that case, you mean
私たちの時代で誕生したリツシャコアと神の鍵の中のリツシャコアは本質的に全く違うものなんですか？
Herrscher cores born in our era and Herrscher cores from the Divine Keys are two inherently different things?
それが僕の推測さ。
That's exactly what I'm guessing.
今のところ僕たちの時代で誕生した律者コアは虚数空間とのつながりにおいて何らかの柔軟性があるんだ。
The Herrscher cores born in our era have a somewhat flexible relationship with imaginary space.
例えば条件さえ満たせば何の関係もない人でも律者になることができる。
For example, under the right conditions, they can transform an ordinary person into a Herrscher. Case in point, May with the core of, with the gem of conquest, she can become the Herrscher of Thunder, which she did, and Bronya with the gem of desire became the Herrscher of reason.
しかし全文明の神の鍵にあるコアはどうしてもそれができないんだ。
The Herrscher cores from the Divine Keys of the previous era are not capable of this.
確かにそうね。固定化した定格出力の調整にしか使えない。新しい機能の開発すらできないわ。
Indeed, they can only be used to adjust fixed power levels, and they have no way to develop new functions.
その矛盾がよりはっきりと目立ったのはこの前の雷の律者再生事件だ。
Oh, man. I remember this from chapter 17. Man, this was... Wow. Just... Holy crap. May finally making her choice. A clear example of this difference was an incident involving the rebirth of the Herrscher of Thunder.
当時ライデン・メイは体内で自身の律者コアを凝結させた。その影響で本来のコンケストジェムは消えてなくなった。
When Red May's own Herrscher core formed within her body, the Gem of Conquest, which originally had this power, vanished.
しかしヨルムンガンドの持つ第三の神の鍵はその影響を全く受けていない。キアナと天下制裁の状況もそれに類似している。
But the third divine key, owned by World Serpent, was unaffected by these events, similar to the situation with Kiana and Judgment Shamash.
そういえばヨルムンガンド側も彼らの計画にとって生きてる律者コアだけが価値があると強調してたわね。
Now that you mention it, I think World Serpent emphasized that only living Herrscher cores were useful for their plan.
もちろんその4つはシーリンジェムだけの特例だと考えてもいいが同時にこういう推測もできるんだ。
Of course, this could be a special characteristic of the four Siren Stones, but one could also speculate.
僕たちの時代で誕生した律者コアと全文明で誕生した律者コア、その2者の間には僕たちが考えたことのない本質的な違いがあるんじゃないかと。
That the difference between cores born in our era and those from the previous era is much greater than we imagined, and more fundamental.
僕はその仮説を立て推論と演算を繰り返しある驚きの結果を発見した。
I did some calculations based on the supposition, and the results were surprising.
理論上必要な仮説はシーリンジェム独自の性質よりもずっとシンプルだった。
The two types of living being fundamentally different requires simpler premises than the Siren Stones having special characteristics.
後者に関しては大量のパラメータを事前に設定しないと数学的に最終結果を導き出すことが難しい。
The latter possibly requires presupposing a large number of parameters for the math to output the right answer.
しかし前者では虚数特異点は一つの点ではなく次元であることを仮説にすればパラメータを設定する必要はない。
And for the former, the only thing we need to assume is that the imaginary singularity is not a real point, and that doesn't carry any dimensional information.
あら、まさに完結こそ英知の真髄。虚数得意点。それが律者コアの根本よ。
Wow. Brevity is the soul of wit. The imaginative singularity is the fundamental attribute of Herrscher cores.
その通り。この仮説の素晴らしいところはそこにあるんだ。
Yes, that's the beauty of this hypothesis.
の通り、律者コアの中の虚数特異点は、あらゆる超自然現象を引き起こせる不可能構造。
We know that the imaginary singularity in a Herrscher core refers to an impossible structure that can trigger all supernatural phenomena.
しかし、数学的に不可能構造自体が構造を持つことは禁止されていない。
And mathematics doesn't prohibit impossible structures from having structure.
その方向で推論すると、全文明の律者コアは次元情報のない純正な特異点に対応していることに僕は気づいた。
Following that reasoning, I discovered that Herrscher cores from the previous era correspond with a dimensionless pure singularity.
そして、僕たちの時代で誕生した律者コアは、ちょうど一次元の円周を持つリング状に対応している。
And Herrscher cores from our era correspond with one-dimensional strange loops.
交互的に話すと、そのリング状の構造の関係により、コアは生きていて、再度活性化する柔軟性を持つ。
In layman's terms, the structure of this loop allows the core to live and reactivates its elasticity.
もっとわかりやすく話すとどうかしら。
Can it be understood like this in everyday language?
全文明の律者コアは静止した状態。律者本体から離れると変化しなくなるから死んでいるように見える。
The Herrscher cores from the previous era are passive. Once they are removed from the Herrscher itself, they won't undergo any more changes. They seem to be dead.
けど、今の律者コアは動的だから、律者本体から離れても外部の刺激があれば変化する。だから、生きているように見える。
But Herrscher cores from this era are dynamic. Even when removed from Herrscher, they can still transform themselves. In that sense, they are alive.
その通りだ。
Right.
もし僕たちの目の前にある支配の律者のコアも生きているなら、この推測の信憑性はさらに上がる。逆に言えば、
If the Herrscher of Dominance core is alive, this guess will increase its confidence level. But on the other hand,
この世界の下の構造は僕たちのあらゆる予想よりも複雑。
we can only assume that the lowest levels, the structure of our world,
あ、コサ頭。あんた本当に縁起でもないことを言うわね。
Mophead, don't jinx it.
テスラ博士、
What
何
hap-
があったんだ？
What happened, Dr. Tesla?
自分で見なさい。この実験結果をどう説明すればいいかわからないわ。ありえないでしょ、この律者コア。
See for yourself. I don't know how to explain the results of this experiment. How could this be? The Herrscher core is...
全然虚数特異点が検出できないのよ。本当に律者コアなわけ？
I can't detect any imaginary singularity in it. Does this still count as a Herrscher core? About 20 minutes later.
どうやらコアに関する研究はあまりスムーズではないようね。
It seems the research of the core did not go smoothly.
ああ、他の物理指標から考えると、それは確かに律者コアだ。崩壊エネルギーを吸収でき、物理法則の変化を引き起こすことも可能。
Yeah, all other physical indications suggest that it is a genuine Herrscher core. It can attract Honkai energy and trigger changes to physical laws.
しかし、非常に不思議なのは、実験方法をいくら変えても、その虚数特異点が見つからない。以前発見した小さいコアみたいだ。
But the strange thing is, no matter how we do the experiment, we can't detect an imaginary singularity, just like those little cores from before.
もちろん僕たちは分かっている。
And we also know that the real Herrscher of Dominance minions are completely different than those puppets at the beginning.
その規模なら虚数特異点に関する有益な情報を検出できるはずなのに。
Based on its size and weight, we should be able to determine useful information about imaginary singularity.
私の考えを話してもいいかしら。未熟な考えかもしれないけど。
Can I put in my 2 cents? Even though it's just a thought I had.
構わないさ。見ての通り、テスラ博士はいても立ってもいられないほどイライラしているからね。
Go ahead. As you can see, Dr. Tesla's getting agitated.
その変わった現象の理由は支配の律者が支配劇場を所有したからじゃないかしら。
I'm thinking that this strange phenomenon might have to do with Herrscher of Dominance controlling the theory of domination.
おお、
Huh?
ほら、虚数特異点は空間の各次元にも同時に存在するはずでしょ。
I mean, the imaginary singularity should exist in all dimensions simultaneously, right?
もし支配劇場の実際的な次元が現実空間よりもずっと高いなら、観測可能な虚数特異点の信号もそれにより削られる。
If the number of dimensions corresponding to the theater of domination is much higher than the number in reality, then detectable signals from the imaginary singularity would be many times weaker. Nagamitsu getting a little 5-head there.
そうすると完全な律者コアを持っていても情報を検出できないんじゃないかしら。機械というものには感度と加減があるもの。
In this case, even if we were faced with a real Herrscher core, maybe we wouldn't be able to detect any signal. After all, our instruments do have limited sensitivities.
確かに筋が通っている。もしそれが真実なら、それを検証するために僕たちは。
This does make some sense, but if this is the case, the only way to verify it would be to use...
それならできるかもしれない。
Ah, it can be done.
アインシュタイン博士、何かいい方法を思いついたの？
Did you think of a different way, Dr. Einstein?
ああ、とりあえずキアナとブローニャのところに行こう。
Yeah, let's go find Keon and Bronya.
この件には彼女たちの力が必要なんだ。
We will need to rely on those two for this.
律者の力を使って律者コアを攻撃。
Using Herrscher power to bombard the Herrscher core?
ああ、それが唯一支配の律者コアの存在状態を確認できる方法だ。
Yes, at present, this is the only way to verify the state of the Herrscher dominance core.
暴れているテスラ博士を落ち着かせるためですか？それを解決できるならブローニャは賛成します。
Is this a way to calm Dr. Tesla down? Brolin thinks any plan that solves that problem is a good plan.
この件においてはそれだけじゃないよ、ブローニャ。
The purpose of the plan isn't limited to that, Bronya.
今の状況で律者コアの存在状態を確認できると、オットー側の問題の解決にもつながるんだ。
If we are able to quickly confirm the status of the Herrscher core, it will also help us solve the problem with Otto.
確か過去の自分をコピーしてそのもう一人の自分を殺したんだよね。一体何を企んでるの？
I heard he made a clone of his past self and then killed it. What is he up to?
それに本当に500年前にすでに亡くなっている人を復活させるつもり？そんなの死の律者の力でもできないのに。
Could he really be planning to resurrect someone from 500 years ago? Even the Herrscher of Death can't do that.
わからない。オットーという人間の厄介なところは、彼の話を簡単に信じることも、彼の行動を無視することもできないところだ。
I don't know. The annoying thing about Otto is that since we can't trust anything he says, we have to keep a close eye on everything he does.
もし律者コアの存在の状態を見て、オットーが僕たちの予想以上に何らかの細工をしていたら、
If
彼
we-
からより多くの情報を聞き出さないといけない。
If we can establish the active status of the Herrscher core, It means Otto's been up to more tricks. And we need to get more information out of him.
オットーは明日テレサさんと継承儀式に参加するが、彼が何を企んでいるのか誰にもわからない。
He claims that he and Madame Teresa will finish the succession ceremony tomorrow, but no one really knows what he has planned.
そうね。オットーさんが知っていることは私たちの予想をはるかに超えているのかもしれない。
Right. Overseer may know a lot more than we think he does.
私自身彼の部下だったし、こんなことを口にするのは少しおかしいかもしれないけど。
Although I am technically a subordinate, and it may be strange for me to say this, but it
皆
is.
さんはあの困った男よりも先を見つめたいって思ったことはないかしら。
But haven't you all wanted to see further than that man? Even once?
アインシュタイン博士がある素晴らしい推測を教えてくれた。もしその推測を支配の律者のコアを通して検証できたら。
Dr. Einstein told me that she had a good guess. If that guess can be verified with the Herrscher of Domination's core,
もしかしたら私たちは崩壊の本質に昔よりもずっと近づき理解することができるかもしれない。そうすればあのオットーさんよりもずっと遠くを見つめられるはずよ。
then we'll be closer than ever before to understanding the essence of Honkai, and we have a deeper understanding of an Otto.
長光所長、少し落ち着いてください。
I think you got a bit overexcited, Nagamitsu.
あ、ごめんなさい。私この話になるとつい興奮してしまうから見苦しいところを見せたわね。
Ah, sorry. I just get passionate about things like this. Sorry.
おじいさまのことだから警戒しないといけないわ。けどこれ以上続けるとまた話がそれる気がするから。とにかく
In any case, we do need to keep our guard up against my grandpa. But I'm sure some questions will arise. Anyway,
アインシュタイン博士の実験目標をクリアするためになるべく多くの崩壊エネルギーを律者の力を通して小さな空間に凝縮したいの。
to reach the experimental target set by Dr. Einstein, we need to gather as much Honkai energy as possible and restrict it to the smallest possible space.
私も力の限り低迷の実験器具を提供するけど私は残念ながら実験には参加できないわ。
In my capacity, I'll do my best to provide Shiksaw's lab equipment, for your use. It's just a pity that I won't be able to participate in the experiments itself.
君ならこの実験に参加すると思っていたよ。
I thought you were the most enthusiastic about it.
しょうがないわ。4時半までに彼のところに到着するようにとオットーさんに言われていてね。
There's no choice. Overseer wants me to report to him before 4:30.
何かしてほしいと言われたのか。
What does he need you to do?
例の旅の準備かもしれない。第二の神の鍵の操作とか。とにかく危険すぎることではないと思うわ。
Maybe it's to help prepare for his journey, operate a second divine key or something. Anyway, it won't be anything too dangerous.
君はこの実験の結果について何も心配していないようだね。
You don't seem worried about the results of his experiment.
ええ、そうね。だってハイペリオンの皆さんも不朽なる刃のバルキリーたちも問題を解決する専門家でしょ。
Aren't the crew of Hyperion and Valkyries and the Immortal Blades all expert problem solvers?
できれば僕たちは問題が起きた後の対策を考えるのではなく問題を未然に防ぎたいんだけどね。
If possible, we should take preventive measures so we're not taken off guard.
はいはい、わかったわ。なるべくオットーさんに気づかれないようにみんなに有益なことをしてみるからこれでいいかしら。
Alright, I understand. I'll do what I can for you guys when I meet with Otto. Is that okay?
もし君がそうしてくれるならこれ以上は文句を言えないさ。
We won't ask you to do anything more than that.
ご理解感謝するわ。
Thanks for understanding.
じゃあ急いで実験器具と信号分析設備を準備しましょう。他のみんなは1時間自由行動でいいわ。
Then let's hurry up and prepare for the experimental materials and signal analysis equipment. The rest of you can take a break for an hour.
この町は比較的安全だから、今のうちに体を動かして気分転換しておきましょう。
The whole town's pretty safe now. Everyone can take this opportunity to get some exercise and fresh air.
特にキアナとブローニャ、必要のないプレッシャーやストレスを発散しておくように。
Especially Kiana and Bronya. I recommend you to release some stress before the experiment begins.
そうですね。そうした方が実験でより正確に律者の力を使えると思います。キアナは退去研究の入門をまだ覚えてる。
Yeah, that'll help you direct Herrscher powers more precisely in the experiment. Do you still remember the base of Edge of Taichuan?
猛念を断ち、呼吸を落ち着かせる。何も知らず、何も感じない。
Discard delusions. Control your breathing. Clear your mind of thoughts and feelings.
そのとおり。だから今のうちに気分を楽にして外に出て歩こう。ずっと中にいるとかえってストレスを感じてしまうから。
Right. So use this opportunity to relax and go for a walk. It's not good to stay on board all the time.
委員長も学園長もありがとう。
Thanks for the advice, Fuhua. In principle,
ちょうど気になっていることがあるから、今のうちに解決しておくよ。
there's something that's bothering me. I'll use this time to deal with it.
ブローニャはもともと集中力を高める訓練をしようとしていました。この時間をちゃんと使おうと思います。
Bronya will use this time to do some exercise that improve focus.
ええ、気分転換してきなさい。解散。
Good. Everyone go get some fresh air. Meeting adjourned.
疲れを取るなら休息が一番ですよ。
Okay. Okay, so, oops. Yikes. Okay, stop, quiet. I know that was stupid. I know that was stupid, Paimon. So, yeah. I'm just gonna talk to the people I'm doing this for. Anyway, found out a lot of stuff. So that'll be it for now. Until next time, this is Lord Chad saying thank you all for watching. Take care of yourselves. Oh, no. Dreamer posted something. Dreamer did something. Anyway. Yeah, first of all, if you know Unreal Dreamer, he's right now in New York at New York Comic Con doing something with Hoyo Fest. Well, at least he was doing it today. I don't know what he's doing afterwards. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video right here. Next video I'm gonna make is gonna be these side quests. Until next time, this is Old Jad saying thank you all for watching, and may all the beauty be blessed.